Hi, in this video, I'll be doing a feature demonstration on CloudAz Attribute Store LDAP Enrollment. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the Enrollment Manager to enroll users through LDAP. CloudAz provides a web-based enrollment management tool, which is an alternative to using command line for enrolling users. Enrollment is separated into two parts, enrolling and syncing. Enrollment Manager can only be used by authorized users who have management enrollment permission. Here are some key features of the Enrollment Manager for enrolling LDAP. Enrollment is separated into two steps, enrolling and syncing. Enrolling refers to the mapping of data types to CloudAz in preparation for data population. Syncing refers to the actual retrieving data values and populating the CloudAz attribute store. Syncing can be done either manually or automatically. Enroll users, contacts, computers, applications, groups, or other objects to CloudAz. Provides option to remove all inactive group members and group when enrolling. Provide options to store empty string for entries in a data source without an attribute mapping. Administrators must manually delete failed enrollments before reattempting the enrollment. In our Policy Studio, go to Data Sources under Attributes. Click on Create Enrollment on the top right. We want to use Active Directory as our source of information. I will name this enrollment as LDAP enrollment example. Description. Let's move on to our connection details. Here we want to input our connection details, our hostname for the LDAP server, the port number of the LDAP server. The default port number is 389. For LDAP with SSL enabled, the default port number is 3636. You can always change the value of these ports as needed. Here we will put our account username and password. This account must have permission to connect to the LDAP server and access enrollment information. For this demo, we will now use the SSL mode. Here we'll put our root. Each root represents one branch of the LDAP directory tree that is being enrolled. I am only going to use one, but you can always add more. Filter represents the filter we'll use for this LDAP. I'll leave this as an asterisk, which represents no filter. Let's test our connection. We also support paging control if your LDAP server supports this feature. I'll leave this on. The direct sync control support will enroll only new entities and entities whose properties have changed in the Active Directory since our last synchronization operation. I will turn this on. And lastly, we have our autosync. Here, we have two options. We can either do a scheduled sync operation, or we can set the time to the past, which will start counting the autosync once we perform our first manual sync, which I will show you later. Let's turn this autosync on. For this demo, I'll be showing you how to selecting a past time work. Click on this calendar, select yesterday, and set the repeat hour to 24 hours. We can also do minutes. For the global unique ID under definition details, I will leave this as object GeoID because this is the unique attribute for my LDAP. And here we have a table. This table contains the default attributes you can map for users. You must map every mandatory CloudAz attribute with the corresponding Azure AD user attribute. The fields that are grayed out are mandatory for CloudAz's information network directory. Under the global unique ID, we also have two options, the option to delete inactive group members and the store missing attributes. If we select the delete inactive group members, all inactive users and groups will be excluded from this enrollment. And if we select the store missing attributes, we will store an empty string for entries in a data source that does not have an attribute mapping. For demo purposes, I will enable the computer and groups entity. Each entity have their own filters. I will exclude everything but users in my user entity. Click on enroll. Okay, let's go back to our data sources. Now we have our LDAP enrollment example set. Let's click on the sync. Now the sync is in progress. Since we have enabled the autosync feature earlier to the past time, after this manual enrollment, CloudAz will autosync every 24 hours from now. Because we have also enabled direct sync control, on our next autosync, CloudAz will now update the entire LDAP but only the updated entities or new entities. Let's go to our data viewer to check our enrollment progress. We can see the user group and host has been enrolled through our LDAP enrollment example. With this, we conclude our video on NextLabs CloudAz LDAP enrollment. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our NextLab channel, and stay tuned for more CloudAz future videos.